don't feel well. Alright. Is the microphone working? It seems quieter than normal. I can crank it up. Test. 1, 2, 2, 2, test. No, it's still a little quiet. Test. Test. If I tap on it, is that right? Yeah, okay, that's the right. Alright, hopefully it all works out. Oh my god, I left these lights on the whole time. Shit, it's probably hot as hell over here. It is. Oh. Alright, let's just jump in. Hiya, ladies and gentlemen. This is the stream that we not did yesterday. So after the stream, I queued up all this. I was really annoyed by, like, you guys are way too sweet, basically. Because none of you guys are telling me, like, Red did. Red told me that it was a little zoomed in, but it was very zoomed in. To where, like, you guys just seen the bunch of my gun. You guys didn't even get to see all the things I was doing, basically. So none of them really made sense, which made sense because I was like, I did things and I was like, this should have a response in the comments. Never did. So then I was like, oh, you guys couldn't see what was happening, probably also. You know, asking for too much, probably. But I got it sorted. It's way more pulled back. I think maybe image stabilization would be helpful, probably. But yes, but this, man, is such a goofy, fun thing, especially to look at. Like, I don't know. When I did see the gameplay after the fact, I was like, oh my god, I'm in. I'm so in. I so much want this to be a thing. And I don't know. I think the only thing that the game tells me when I load into it is it says there's some sort of memory issue. I still haven't looked into it, but I'm very excited to see if we can chip away at that so that we can just have a, like, even if it doesn't look like the best, just the motions and the going through the paces and that intensity of, like, oh my god, there's a person right there, kind of thing is awesome to me. And yeah, it's just a very unique type of stream and game. But that's if I can make it look good enough. And maybe I still feel like I might need to just put on a little bit of motion reduction, because yeah, it does look a little quick. A little like ugh. But we'll see. But alas, yesterday's stream went pretty well. Also, apparently the Oculus headset itself has a decent enough, like, microphone in it to where with maybe enough setting adjustment I can actually make it sound not super crispy. But I think it actually sounded okay when I seen a review of a person use it. It actually sounded fine, especially with no EQ or anything adjusted to it. So I was like, huh, maybe we can actually use this and it'd be okay. Although I like sound. I like when things sound decent. Now, hopefully, I didn't mess with a lot of things, so hopefully my sound doesn't sound not so decent because I messed with a lot of things. But yes, also, I have no idea how long this stream is going to be. The reason why is because this is my much better run. I didn't die this whole time, which is good. But, what do you call it? What was I about to say? Oh, I'm not feeling very well. But also, when I start talking, when I get into things, it's like my body fights. It's like, okay, we're ready to go to war. So I start feeling better as we stream. But I don't have any elixir that helps push me a little more, like coffee. I've got a little bit of coffee left, but that's basically it. But we got so many things to do. What's good, Red? Red, I'm not sure if you just got here, Red, but I did mention that this is the gameplay with it pulled back. By the way, thank you kindly for telling me that, like, it was too zoomed in. I didn't know it was that too much zoomed in, because you can't see it whilst you're looking in it, like, yeah. But I sized it up, and this one is basically exactly what I see. It should look significantly better. I know it's hard to even acknowledge because it's, like, tiny, and it's already pulled back, so if anything, it looks a little weird. But hopefully it works out. Because yeah, now you can actually see where I'm aiming and with through my right eye and all these things. So stream should be better. I haven't found out the issue where it's not like sucking in all the memory that it needs to, that I have available. So I still need to adjust that. And also I still need to whittle away at the motion sickness thing. Because people talk about that, Red. I've heard people say that with the whole VR thing, it's like steps. It's steps of getting better at it. Like you do, like roller coaster, it's some sort of free game, but it's like Roller Coaster Madness or something. But also, I will say, this was when I wasn't streaming, and it just looks violent. It's extremely violent. In hindsight, it looks violent, like really violent. It also doesn't help that you're just unloading into someone. Anyways, but yeah, people said that there's like a scaling metric that if you do this, you'll get your VR legs, which I'm hoping is a thing. I'm hoping also I'm not doing anything bad by just like brute forcing it, essentially, by like every time I go to sleep at night, before I go to sleep, I play VR for like maybe as long as I can, essentially, while trying to be as much motion sick inducing as I can. And yeah, the more I have it up here and I'm seeing it in the peripheral, it looks very violent. Looks like, oh god. Also, don't ask what's happening. This is just when I'm off camera. We're just hanging out. Red says, I am really the first one here. Usually alone is the first one. Yeah, usually alone is pretty early. But I did start a little bit too early. Also, things probably always happen. Like things can catch up. Also, alone is one of those people who seemingly does far too many things. Drawing, having a job, an internship, and a bunch of weird stuff on top. It's like, whew. You know, not that everyone doesn't have a lot of stuff going on, but it's just, yeah. When you hear sometimes, it's like, oh, like one of the things I heard recently that I thought was, it's like a stoic quote or something like that, but it's basically, it's not that life is short, it's that people waste their time. It's like it sounds brutal, but it's also kind of like, yeah, how much time do you do this? How much time do you dedicate to doing things that you don't even enjoy? And how much time do you dedicate to things that aren't even your responsibility to do? You know what I mean? Like, I sometimes struggle with that idea of like, am I really enjoying the show that I'm watching, you know, or am I just watching it to watch? Which I sometimes feel like, you know, always nice to kind of touch back and be like, okay, what's happening? What's wrong with me? Why am I, yeah. Which is why it baffles me that some people just can binge watch anime like crazy. I mean, I guess you can in moments, but I always feel like at like hour 3, how are you not like starting to feel like you're seizing up, like your brain's starting to let go of whatever's pulling it in, you know? Red says, I was busy updating some mods, but thankfully I was watching the time. Nice, Red. That's awesome. We love to have you, Red. But also, what do you call it? I've seen some mods for Half-Life Alyx that look rad. One of them is another version of this. Like, I think there's 3 of these, like 3 levels, which are nuts. I just hope this guy makes a game already because they look awesome. Yeah, what do you call it? I seen one where like there's actual like a whole level, like it's like different than this. But I wish this guy made like a whole ass game because there's no VR game like this, and it sucks because like most VR games, it seems like they're like, well, we gotta rebuild the whole wheel, and I'm like, dude, why? Like, do you see Half-Life Alyx? It's great. It just kind of works. I'm sure Valve also would not hate the fact that people are like making games for VR, which they have a vested interest because they have headsets and shit. Ugh. Although, man, I'm a little bit sad on that. I don't think we have another VR game that's like revving to go. You know, like we had a Half-Life Alyx a couple years ago, and you're like, oh, the game's gonna happen, and then it's like, come on, you know what I mean? Like we don't have any of that anymore, you know. I hope eventually we do have that Half-Life Alyx moment, you know, or aha moment. I have something to look forward to. Although theoretically, again, there's already like a lot of mods, which is why to me like VR was kind of a little bit more than just swing at something, because like theoretically there's possibly most likely going to be mods continually for it, even if you're playing like 3 games like Bone Lab, Boneworks, Half-Life Alyx, and maybe something else, and then whatever game comes down the pipeline. But yeah, but man, I see the gameplay in the background. I'm like, damn, this is a cool game. Sorry. Zero says, what's up, Grin? I pulled Chi-Chi on Genshin. Are you okay? I would give you a hug, but we're far away from each other. Also, I have a problem with touching people. But anyways, Zero says, oh, oof. Off the Venti banner, not even sure if I want, if it was pity or not. I mean, if it wasn't pity, then that's not bad. But if it was pity, that's pain. That's not good. Man, that's one of those things. I mean, I guess Chi-Chi isn't as bad as she was. I think she can still be a sufficient damage dealer if she's just doing enough healing, right? Bolty says, yo, what's good, Bolty? What do you call it? I was pretty juiced out of my mind for Bayonetta a little while ago, but then I recently seen this, what is it called? This, it's kind of depressing. It's like the voice actor who played Bayonetta. She got paid, I think, $4,000 for her entire work or something crazy. I think that was it. I didn't really get to see the whole clip. It was just like the thing that you've seen 1,000 times, which is company that makes millions of dollars, millions and millions of dollars, pays their voice actors like nothing. And then people say, well, you know, like, what about the people who are actually making the game? And it's like, what about the people actually giving like a character to a voice actor? But also, people who work for a company as a designer, unless you're like a super shit company, which a lot of them tend to be, they apparently are. But theoretically, you have consistent work. You have what is it called? Probably some sort of benefits in any way, whereas a voice actor doesn't have that. So the idea that like, yeah, I don't think a voice actor should be making like 3 times as much as a designer, but theoretically they should be making as much as whatever that value generated would be, because they're not working consistent hours every day and generating currency that way. They're working in a tight group of time and then providing a lot of value to your overall product. So to me, the fact that people aren't paying them properly is sad. But anyways, the lady said boycott Bayonetta. I think that might have been the wrong idea. Because, yeah, and whenever someone says, like, cancel this person, or boycott this company, or don't do this because of moral reasons, it's like, well, we're all wearing shoes made by children who are, you know, having horrible things done to them. We're all eating meat from animals that are probably tortured. I don't mean to be the doom and gloom guy, but there's probably levels that we could start at, and this is weird. We're starting here. Anyways, but yeah, I don't know. I found that whole Bayonetta voice actor not getting paid thing pretty rough. It's unfortunate to see. Yeah. And again, I think it's all because it's a publicly traded company, which seems like a big thing, where like value is the main purpose. Buddy says, we can watch the Saki video I wanted to show. Yeah, hell yeah. Did you link it again? Can you quickly paste it in the Tower Fantasy tab again? Bolty, if that's not too much. What's good, Young? Young says, what's good, Young? How are you? Hopefully having a lovely day. Red says, hey, Chi-Chi is awesome for a healer. She was the main healer for the longest time until I got Sayu and Kokomi. Yeah, that's like the biggest glow up ever. Sayu, okay, but Kokomi is insane. Kokomi quickly became like absolutely broken, and it's funny because out of all the characters that like kind of came out, I think Kokomi was probably one of the more excessively reasonably strong, like a swing and an absolute smash. Like if you were able to connect within a time period, you have a great character. Like that heals you the shit out of you, it can deal a fuck ton of damage, drops sea foam and just annihilates the world, you know? But I don't know, Chi-Chi's still in a place where for a legendary, she doesn't feel like cracked out of her mind, which I think she kind of should. I keep saying SSR. I get my Genshin terminology all scattered in every way you possibly think of. My mouse is shitting the bed. I think it's because it's far away. Yeah. Pause that. I guess we'll leave that open for now. Also, you guys see the Warhammer stuff? That Warhammer game looking clean. If we have more time, we'll watch that. I'm loading up Discord. Apparently it closed. Didn't know what happened. Taking a long time to load up Discord. Give me a sec. Zero says, Albeto's back. Nilo's back too. Oh, Nilu's back? Yeah, what do you call it? Do you guys know when the Genshin... Oh, what is it called? Not the update. Why can't I open Discord? What the fuck? My PC's just a fucking mess.
What is going on? Oh.
There we go. I had to kill my old tab that apparently was not there. Weird. Anyways, The Zero says free 10 polls is available. Oh, in Genshin? Shit. I mean, like now? Like right now? Because I'm going to quickly log in tonight and be like, okay, just go. And that's for our Dendro Archon. Hopefully she'll come home, all that. Red says, yep, though I have Sayu at C6, so she is far better. I also have Sayu at C6. I think she's still great, but man, I don't know what it is. Is it Red? I could never, ever get a proper character, a proper element mastery set. I farmed for like ever, and it just never came home. It was abysmal, but you know. Scroll down. My God, this mouse. Why aren't you locked on? Let me just copy a link address. My mouse is shitting the bed. It's like I'm finally ready to die, and I'm like, the fuck you are? You better keep going, you son of a bitch. Alright, here is... Stop fighting me. There we go. I thought it would have been like a different trailer. It also looks pretty low quality, but anyways, let's do it. Boom. I can't hear it though, Bolty. Hopefully that's okay. We'll just let this run in the background a good bit. Oh, she's like a figure collector. So that was right. What a weirdo. What an absolute weirdo. Anyway. I did look good. She's juiced. She's juiced up by these anime figures. It's very cute. She's very cute. I will say this is a solid trailer. Really does the work really well. Honestly, yeah, man. Like, imagine if it was like this with the story, where there are like these moments that are beautifully animated. Maybe it is. I haven't played the story. I just hear everyone hates it. But if this is the story, what a fucking treat. You know what I mean? Okay, so she's got some... Man, her combo looks fast. Apparently, is she a DPS or is she a tank? I think she's probably a DPS. That's what people were saying about Ruby. Sorry. Ruby, by the way. They were saying that Ruby is, yes, she's being tweaked downwards, as everyone is, but Ruby's also a DPS, and her, like, normal attacks are good, so she feels good to just play in the overworld, which that's what I'm feeling with what's her name. I can't think of her name, but the Colt B. Some of her abilities feel really good when you pop her out, when you hit her E, all that feels good, but her normal attacks just don't feel as spicy. Same thing as her like, double jump, but, like... Sayu's apparently feels her like that. Those are the things that are unchanged, which is her ability just to aim, nuke down some. I seen a gameplay of somebody playing with her, and there was like a tiny little like imp guy, like archer guy, which already don't have a lot of health, but still, it was just the fact that he looked at them, like tapped him with a laser beam and just whoosh, gone. Now, granted, this is probably a very highly leveled up Sayu, but still, or I keep saying Sayu, Ruby, tiny child type thing, yes. Log in to the event for a 10 poll. Got it. So yeah. Oh, I probably do it on my phone then. Yeah. Okay, cool. So I won't have to install the update probably. Is the new update live in Genshin, or is this happened a while ago, or is it just the event that we're kind of getting access to all this? Log into the event, get a 10 poll. This was delightful close up. But that was a delightful close up. What happened? Was it just my arm or something horrible? My beard? Oh no. Sorry. Zero says 7-day free 10 pull, 80k Mora, 16 Mystic enhancement, and 8 heroes wood. That's pretty good. The 10 pull. Is it a 10 pull like primo gems, or is it a 10 pull on the standard banner? Because if it's a 10 pull on the standard banner, that's a little less good. But maybe. Red says my Sayu EM is about oh wow, okay, 500. Maybe a bit lower, not... Yeah, okay, mine was about 800. I never really felt she had the same, like, healing power just to pull you back from the brink constantly, but maybe that was just my experience. Also, well, it wasn't even just that. It was just that she was on cooldown for a while. And I always like characters that have, like, just consistently deliver, you know, back-to-back cooldowns to me are brilliant. Nub says, I just finished watching a vid of people boycotting Bayonetta. Did you see the one? We just talked about that in a minute. Is that why you went to go see it, or did you just see that happen chance? Because you're just talking about that now. But Boldy says, look at her. That's my. I will say she did. They have a lot of good like facial movement, etc. in this one. Cobalt B didn't have it. She has a lot of charm. I wouldn't expect her to have that because she's like posturating constantly. So the fact that she's actually like very playful and giddy about something is weirdly humanizing to a character, I guess, which is great. I get it. And Zero says, fun factor, Sayu is voiced by Lily Pichu, which is huge. I agree. Red says, I think she's a tank. I think she also is one of the characters that affects resonance. I think that's what Fluff would be yelling at us both, is but like she can resonate and become different things based on her resonance. So yeah, but probably like tank and DPS. Bodhi says you can build both her as a main feature is her 1-star, which refreshes all of her cooldowns after 5 usages. Whew, that sounds great. Zero says she's always sleepy. Sayu's always. It's true. It's true. Very frustrating. Always. Or is that also Lily Pichu? Is that what Lily Pichu's always sleeping and then she? But her also sleep schedule is a nightmare. Lily Pichu specifically, it seems like. Red says 10 pulls of the limited banner pulls. Oh, okay. That's pretty good. That's really good. I'm about to say if they did the like, oh no, it's a standard banner, I'd be like, what? Red says why? I just told you this, Brad. Yeah, I just rambled about this. Yeah, okay, so basically, and I'm sure Nub will correct me on this. I seen this just now, a couple minutes ago before I started the stream. The voice actor who plays Bayonetta, I'm not sure what it is, but they apparently paid her like $4,000. I feel like I'm misreading this. $4,000 for her work, which is insane. Yeah, like, and again, then there's the argument in the gaming industry of like how much should you pay voice actors, and people say that like, oh well, you shouldn't pay them as much as game designers because game designers are actually making the game. What the heck, you know? But then I also push back on that is because it's a different job entirely. Like it's like when you work for a game company, you're guaranteed consistent work over time essentially. Well, then they lay you off. But let's say best case scenario, you actually get to be a part of a company in which you come to work every day. You do your 9 to 5, and unfortunately, it's getting better. But now it's 9 to 20, whatever it is. Stupid, crazy, long hours. But anyways, you maybe possibly as a designer get benefits. Regardless, both are getting shit on by companies that are making millions and millions of dollars of profit by not paying your employees like having benefits and etc. Regardless, the whole point is, to me, game designers work for like long periods of time, but have consistent benefits usually, and have some consistent work over time. Voice actors, you're called upon for like maybe 2 weeks or maybe a month to deliver constantly, and then you also the level of value that you generate. For that like half the time of or an eighth of the time it would take to be a designer is significantly high. Not necessarily more, it depends on what the designer is working on, but still a substantial amount. And again, it's not like these companies aren't making a great deal of money. And yeah, so to me, I think it makes sense that a voice actor should get paid a good amount. If anything, it should be equal to the amount of money that the dev who worked on the game for like, let's say a year, that salary should be the same as the voice actor, because they're paying that, or not the same, but like near that, basically significantly more than $4,000 for a performance when you're in the third trilogy of a game, and that game has backings by devs that should very easily pay for the work that are being done. At least that's my perception. But again, most of these companies, and I think Bayonetta's developer included, are publicly traded, I believe, companies. So their main motive is profit. So it's basically just about how much can we make profit-wise, while simultaneously, hedging our bets and composing our thing. But maybe not. Maybe Bayonetta is one of the few companies that isn't publicly traded, where the investors wouldn't be like, hey, by the way, why aren't we making more profit? Why are you giving so much money to somebody who it's the industry standard to take 80% less than that, and then we could keep that as profit? Why are we doing this? Let's cut costs. That's why certain formats of business seem to be not so good. But let's see. I'm going to get into what you guys believe in, because I might have a misperception on this. Let's see. I just saw from Ludwig, because I will say her idea of saying, what do you call it? Her whole premise about saying boycott, I don't think it was the right call. It's like same thing when you tell someone to say like cancel this person or boycott this food industry, that kind of thing. I just don't think it works. Also, I think it cannibalizes your initial idea, because you're not just talking about how you suffered or how you were treated unfairly. You're asking or demanding other people to fight on your behalf, and it's like, are you gonna come out for me whenever I get wronged? Hell no, probably not. So I'm not gonna do this for you. Or if I do need that help, don't give it to me, and then we'll just be in this weird place. So I just don't think it's good for your point. Because they fired an old voice actress because they didn't want to pay her. The creator of the game is calling her a liar. Okay, interesting. So the creator of the game is saying that she's actually being dishonest with this, because that's also possible. The creator of the game is calling her a liar. What's the actual reason? Nub says, I haven't played the game. Even so, my interest is it isn't too high, so that in a formation I have is also service level. Okay, I see. Right, it says, honestly, I was boycotting Bayonetta simply because fuck the Switch. Way too overpriced, I would assume priced. Nova says, really? I thought Switch was the best console out of all of them. Well, yeah, it depends on what you want from the games, I suppose. What's good, Luke? Loke says, I'm still waiting for the third version. Waiting for the third. What do you mean third version? Nub says, the creator of Bayonetta seems like an idiotic asshole anyways. So I wouldn't want to support him. Yeah. I just, to me, like, if she would have, because, yeah, the whole thing is her basically saying that she was paid for like $4,000 for like a very popular, like an absurdly popular game in a series of games. That's insane. It's wild. Like, again, and it's weird because I've heard Nathan Drake make the I was having this conversation with me in my head because I was trying to think from perspectives of who is involved in this, but I could see it as if you were a developer and you were wanting to act in good faith and you weren't publicly traded, so that you didn't have to always be at the behest of your investors and etc. So if you were just a company that was self-sufficient, maybe you had 2 or 3 games that were successful and you could genuinely pay your employees well, I could see you wanting to do that, but also being frustrated by the notion of unions and etc. So that was something that was big in the past. But the one thing that frustrates me about unions is that power corrupts, period. Like, I oftentimes think that a union can succumb in the same way a big business corporation can succumb to feeling, especially unions have the moral grandeur of posturing, I think, in such a way that can make them seem like, oh, well, we're fighting on behalf of the little guy, so we can keep pushing and pushing and pushing, and not acknowledging that at the end of the day, this company does need to make a profit and does need to, continue to make money. So yeah. But anyways, my whole point is just that I could see that, like, a union and a big corporation, both are subject to power, like getting corroded eventually, and then eventually, like, if the union gets too stronger, then it's unreasonable for the employer to be like, wait, we have to pay people how much if after we're done firing them? Like what? So I could see it starting. Also, it's like, well, what happens if somebody wants to work their ass off, make a ton of money for working their ass off, and crunch, and then also get a profit of it? We're not saying we're not incentivizing that, but we sure should make sure that's a thing. And then unions might be like, no, minimum, this is the time that everyone should work. If you're working beyond that, you don't get rewarded. If you're working under that, you don't get rewarded. Kind of weird thing. So yeah, I just, to me, that, like, the whole argument that used to exist within this conversation of how much should you pay voice actors and unionizing voice actor talent, I could see it being like, well, this could get bad in both ways. The unions could get too powerful and demand too much, and the companies are just ravenous. So frankly, it'd be neat to see a change up, see if maybe this is not true, because I think companies have just been kind of paying. Again, it's like, how much can we feed money back up the corporate ladder? Because that's what the whole business's point is to pay back investors so they get their investment back. And of course, money just nothing's enough. Nothing's ever enough. Red's also Nub. I'm curious. Why did you say that the dev is kind of an asshole? What did you where did that come from? I'm curious. I'm not saying it wrong. Red says, I strongly disagree, honestly. PS4, Xbox is better than Switch, but I honestly just want Bayonetta on PC. I'm not playing the game in less than 90 FPS. Yeah, well, it's definitely like conditioning. I think over time, like for people who do not play PC games, who do not care about all that stuff, it's just a value proposition based on your personal interests. But for me, man, Xbox and PC are getting more and more logical, for me at least, just with Game Pass. Like, Game Pass to me is such a thing that's like unlike PS4 and unlike Switch, it's just like, what do people care about? Video games. How do we make it easier to consume just about any type of video game? This. And for half a year, you're basically getting a shit ton of content, like permanently, essentially. What is it, 60? I think it's $10 a month, maybe a little bit more. Six months. It's $60. You pay for the price of one game for that much time. It seems like a pretty good fucking solid deal. Anyways, the point is, hopefully the Netflix thing doesn't happen, which is why I think Xbox bought up like 15 actual companies so that they could keep a valued like log of games. I think it was a report the other day that said like Game Pass made $1 billion or something, like 3 million or billion something. So I was like, okay, cool, it's working at least. Thank God there's that. But yeah, to me, like, consoles are, it's funny because people have the console conversation. To me, I'm like, Game Pass is getting just undeniable. But that's if they keep it at that level of income, you know what I mean? Red says, I'm just tired of Nintendo always skimping on hardware and banking on gimmicks. Yeah, not even gimmicks. I think Nintendo's biggest thing is that they're able to differentiate themselves from the competition. So back in the day, there was like a whole thing about this where the SNES and all these companies and these gaming companies existed, and how they were able to super succeed. Specifically, Nintendo was it was able to basically corner a market of gaming for the family audience, and then I think it was Sega. I think that's what it was. Sega basically took a different market. So it took Sega basically. Nintendo had it all for a long time. They had like it's for kids, it's for your grown-ups, you can play whatever, Wii, all of these things, right? But then eventually Sega came out and they had like the Sega Dreamcast, and they specifically marketed it towards like teenagers, because that was the market that teenagers weren't exactly playing Nintendo. They were, but not to the extent in which Sega was eventually going to be able to just scoop up the that type of gamer, I guess, and then like give them that. But yeah, I think Nintendo's main thing is nostalgia. That's the one thing that seems like, and it's crazy if you do not have any nostalgia or anything for Nintendo. Being in like a podcast scenario, which has been my experience, I'm listening to a podcast and I'm hearing people who have a built-in like deep love for Zelda and all of these Nintendo games, talking about how they're like the best developer ever, and like they're like this, it's so great, they're great, and I'm just sitting there like. As a person who has no nostalgia really with Nintendo, I love Smash, it's fun, but like the only game that I have ever had nostalgia for is Fable. It's the only thing that I've ever loved enough to care about like genuinely care about something. But yeah, but to me, it's a weird prospect. Also, they also do scarcity things, right? Like Nintendo also makes it so they don't produce too many consoles because they want people to constantly want to pay for them. Also, scarcity makes it so that you can keep selling at the same level of $300 essentially. Or maybe that's just US price, or that's just Canada pricing maybe. Loken says, so dude, I have to ask, how long since you played Let It Die, and was your highest level? What's your highest level? Also, third is in Nintendo 3DS, not third. Oh, I see. I didn't see the S. My brain just overrated it. Got it. Third version of my. Sorry. Yeah. So the 3DS. Yeah. For me, it's probably been. Well, actually, the last time there was an update for Deathverse, that was like an event for Deathverse, we jumped in and played. But I want to say, if we're not accounting for that, it's probably been like a year. I haven't played it since. since the last update, really. I played like 2 months after the last update to the game that was like the new update stuff. It's on a cycle, so it reboots itself essentially. But yeah, I haven't played in a long time. Highest floor, I didn't see any point after getting past 60. I got to the 60th floor, and I just thought, okay, it's this times 10, and another 10, and another 10, and maybe at the 100th floor, then I get to fight a new boss, all to just get an armor set that looks kind of the same, but with higher numbers attached to the side of it. Couldn't sell me on it. I had been doing that for a year, like full on year. It was the main game I played. So like I just kept grinding, and like going to floor ranges, killing enemies, grabbing loot was something I already did to death. So it was a really hard sell for me to be like, yes, let's do again more of it, you know. So yeah. Also, we'll keep this in the background, but I did want to, I guess I did close that, and I guess we'll open up this. This is a game I am quite excited for as well. It's darker than shit, though, which is brutal, but, you know, it's Warhammer. Warhammer, I'm excited to play this whenever it does happen. I did loop it. Yeah. It looks like a fun game. I don't know if it'll change the game or change the world or like pop off, but I liked Vermintide a lot. And if we could get more of that with more cool endgame replayable things, more investment properties, I'm in. Not overpriced. I said underpowered. Oh, you did. Okay, so I thought, yeah. Way too underpowered, not overpowered. Oh, I see. I would have thought you would have meant underpowered. Because yeah, to me, underpowered, it's able to play almost all the games that are there. Not very good, but it's able to get the job done. But I would have thought it'd be overpriced. I guess that's why my brain was like, ooh. The issue is availability. Unions are bad in general, but any sector that doesn't have unions, workers tend to require unions. Doesn't have unions, workers tend to require unions. He auto blocks 99 of the people who are trying to talk to him or trying to get answers from him. Yeah, that's not good. That's not good. That's someone who thinks he's like super in the right, which to me is gross. Which again, I could see being like, I designed the game, I made it, this is our team, you just fucking voiced it. Like, yeah, I could see people undermining but again, there's so much power to storytelling within a voice actor, you know what I mean? So I don't know. But that's hilarious that he auto blocks people. Red says 30 FPS gives me a headache now. I'm used to 60 FPS at a minimum, and more recently 90 FPS and up. I know, man, but that's also like, if you can afford it, that's pretty huge. You know what I mean? Like, but as I'm terrified to go to 90, man. I'm terrified to go to. I'm at 70 in my headset, and I'm like, ooh, this is a new world. I'm not sure if I'm in. It's like I'll be broken. I won't be able to go backwards. Although I've always found no. I'll be honest. After going to 60, 30 is a little rough. I don't mean to be a doucher, number one, but. You get used to normalcy, and you're like, all right, I'll just save for an extra 2 months to pay for a slightly better graphics card that can get me that fix. Although, does anyone know? I seen like a thing that was like Nvidia released a new graphics card. It's $150, which is a joke. It's probably like $3,000 or $5,000 because of scalpers and shit. Although apparently the U.S. I don't know if this is a part of it, but I thought the U.S. Invested in like a shit ton of chips being made. I don't know if that's just chips or if it's graphics card chips as well, but yeah. But apparently the new Nvidia graphics card thing is heavier. It's slightly more. I'm saying it's pretty powerful, but yeah. Bodhi says the dumbest thing I've heard from Nintendo will always be their copyright decision regarding ROMs. What do you mean? There was the Nintendo used to be super anti like YouTube creation, streaming, anything. Used to get just immediately taken down. Horrible. But also, that was something I remember I read in the Disrupt You book, where the CEO of Sony who was once the CEO of Sony, was said in that book that it was wild. Like, he was saying that, like, in his experience being that high up in the company, not the CEO, sorry, he was like the main thing for their publishing thing. Like, he was a CEO in one of their departments of Sony. Regardless, his whole takeaway was like that the Asian market, or Sony specifically, but he noticed a trend within the Asian market, were like really old, essentially. Like, their perspective of business and the way things were done are incredibly old in comparison to like the internet, streaming, all of these things. And therefore they never invested in any of these things, and then they slowly started to tank developmental wise. Like, that's where like Xbox and all these other companies were able to, like, because honestly, like, Sony had such a crazy head start outside of PS4. The fact that Microsoft was able to kind of like come back from the brink is pretty impressive. But anyways, the whole point was his depiction of the Asian business style is very slow to adapt. So it makes sense that they still perceive like, well, this person's stealing our content. And it's like, that person's getting like millions of views, and if you look at the charts of people buying your game, it just goes up. It doesn't go down, it goes up. But yeah. Red says, I love Nintendo games, I really do. I just refuse to play them on Nintendo hardware these days. I just emulate them on PC with far more FPS and graphics and plus mods. Yeah, well, I was about to say that. I thought the whole emulator scene would be better. I think it's still not perfect. Like, I remember I looked into Guilty Gear or Guilty Chain or Astral Chain. That's what it's called, Astral Chain. And people like 5 years after the game had released or something only just started to like crack the like code of it to make it to run it on PC. And I was like, oh, I thought you would just be able to simulate whatever the hell like the base scaling is on Nintendo's platform thing and then just run that. But I guess it's not quite as easy. But then there are other games that immediately get ported, so maybe it's just demand issue. Like, the demand for that game was not a thing. Nub says, you should play Scorn. Hell nah, man. I'm already like debating with whether we should do this Halloween like horror game VR nightmare. I don't know. But Scorn, to me, it looks like art, but not like art I want to look at, you know? Like, it's got that fucking weird, the sounds to it really fuck me up more than the visuals, to be honest. It's like it sounds like something like bones moving around in flesh, but like they're like little worm parasites instead of like actual bone. Yeah, ugh, it just has the sounds of it freak me the fuck out. It's like the whole premise of it is literally like, was it not Hideo? It's some sort of like weird, a hand with holes in them kind of vibe, where it's just like there's something about this makes me want to scream and run away. That's a good chill game. Well, it's apparently also like 4 hours or something, like 6 hours is what I seen GameRank say it was. And it's good if you like horror games or you want like an interesting game, but it doesn't seem like it's my bit of business. Yeah. Nub says, also for clarification on my union point, it is most people who work in the sector that has unions tend to prefer not to be a part of the unions because they lose out more from being part of one, but they only have the choice because unions forced regulations that apply to regular workers as well. Yeah, again, to me, it's tough. Like, again, I think it requires something that requires both understandings. Like, there should be a level of like, you're getting paid for what do you call it? You're not getting paid for overtime. What? Like, that's not right. That's super fucked up. And the fact that your boss could be like, well, you know, is wrong. But also, if you're a person who does want to like grind their head off and like, it sucks. But if say if you're working at a job and you're like, you've been working really good, you've been working there for like 4 years, but then there's this young buck that comes out of nowhere who's like doing overtime on overtime, talking to management, super charismatic as well, just has a different value proposition that maybe you don't have. But he's cultivating it. He's working 10 times the amount as you, proving himself that he's able to manage things and handle things more. That person is like selling chunks of his time, his sanity, his soul And just because you've been there longer, just because maybe you feel like you're older, maybe you just feel like in some way that you've earned it more. I don't think that's right, that you just should get it because of whatever the reason could be, you know? I feel like that's the tendency, that it doesn't equal out, you know? Like, theoretically, we want to live in a world that is fair and has opportunity for almost everybody, if not everybody. But simultaneously, we also don't want to live in a world which, like, the way we achieve that is by losing rights and freedoms and the ability to you know, have your autonomy, etc. To choose for yourself what you determine is a reprehensible or unreprehensible idea or premise, and then come together on the things that we do agree on to converge a world or whatever we would call it. But yeah. Red says an NVIDIA GPU for 1,500 is what I meant. 150,000. 1,500. No, 150, sorry. What the fuck? I said the wrong thing. When I say 150, I mean 1,500. Not what do you think this is? Of course I meant 1,500. What kind of world do you think we're just going to live in? Then you can buy great hardware with $150. Wild. Inflation or unflation, whatever you call it. Nov says, they still are. What is still is? Red says, NVIDIA GPU are fucking bullshit expensive now. I know, but it's bullshit. But oh man, it's so frustrating because I wonder if, like, largely, because if you look at the prices of GPUs, like NVIDIA seemingly is actually trying to be a bro about it, at least when the near launch, where they're like, okay, we're limiting the amount people can buy. It's literally 1,600. We've increased it by $100, but that's it. We could have increased it by 400 like all these scalpers are doing. But we're going to do that. We're going to let people buy a limited quantity of them. It is better than the previous generation, so you are buying value or more. And they're trying to do that, but still, everyone just they just suck them up immediately, because then they just resell them, or they just use them. But yeah, also sorry for the dogs going popping off. The 480/90s just fuck off with the prices off. Yeah, man. Well, it sucks again. Like, the worst part about it is that, like, NVIDIA themselves are not, like, scaling up the price unreasonably. I'm sure it's still a value for them to make, but it's fuckers who are, like, reselling them and shit. Also, it's just that everybody, like, what a shocking proposition that a world that keeps getting more technologically advanced, chips and, like, the CPUs and GPUs become extraordinarily more valuable. And it sucks so fucking bad because gaming paved the way for this shit, and all these other fucking AI companies are like, huh. I may be misreading this, but it seems like they're like, huh, we're just gonna take all that. This was actually very helpful for us as well. Thank you for that. And you're like, fuck off. You son of a bitch. We made this, okay? By we, I mean generations of PC master race people. Nub says, it's not slow to adapt. They just don't want to adapt or understand. Oh, you mean the Asia market, I mean. Someone with money needs to take every single Japanese company to court for the false claims and take all their money to humble. That'd be cool. Yeah, for all the, like, false things, yeah. Red says, come on, you don't want to insert phallic-shaped objects into holes. I mean, some people want to get after it. Don't take it away from those people. Zero says, it's amazing what Genshin classifies as cliff and not cliffed. What? Is classifies as cliffs, not I assume. Oh, gotcha. What? I'm so sorry. I'm actually getting what? I need violet grass to level. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. The weird phrasing for the crazy terrain. Is there a fortress I can buy a violet grass in Leeway? Like a floralist, you mean? Like a plant place? I don't think so. Violet grass. What is that? Is that the purple stuff? Because there's a lot of locations with the purple flower. But if it's the yeah. I'm not sure what, I can't remember what violet grass is. But there was the Venti's upgrade material, which is like the white clover things. Those are a pain in the ass because there's only one spot in the entire game that has them, and they're like maybe 10, 20 maybe, and you need like 60 per level or something. Zero says I knew the one in Mondstadt. You mean like the one thing in that? Yeah. I don't think they sell them. If you're thinking about the one that's on the cliff, like you were talking about, like to get Venti, it's like a white flower with like multiple flowers around it. Yeah, that one you can't buy any from. If you could, it's like 5. Unfortunately, gotta wait until a couple days until they respawn, or you can go to another person's world and just take theirs, which most people don't need them at this point because most people knew they were so rare, so they were pre-farming them ahead of time. Booty says, I want to watch anime, but don't know what to watch. I'm on season 3 of Overlord. I've been rewatching it because I had to make 2 should you watch videos, and yeah, I waited. I wanted not to like watch a new anime and then have to make another video about it. So I started rewatching Overlord, which probably is a mistake when you're 4 seasons in because you're just beating yourself over the head with Overlord content, which is great. But yeah, also man, fucking pisses me off. We still don't have any closure on that. I'm not sure if it's just the anime. Now that we got Nub here, I wanted to ask him, what do you call it? To this day, in the Overlord story, the first season, the girl who is like pretending to be a girl, she's like, or she's pretending to be a boy. They still don't confirm that she's dead. So then she's just fucking hanging out. I don't know. But then Ainz meets her sister eventually, and is kind of like, oh, I should repay her because she gave me this book, and this book really helped me understand the world. But there's no like, at any point in the anime, maybe the manga, might be in the novel, but they never like, she fucking died. They make a point to be like, oh no, she's the only one alive still. And he has like a blanket over her body, and she's like still bruised and shit. I'm just like, God damn it, what is happening with this? Are they gonna converge at some point? I don't know. But it's weird that he's like, I'm gonna repay this. Maybe she did die. It's annoying. Anyways, season 3 I think is my favorite. I haven't seen season 4 yet. I just finished watching season 2, and I thought it's okay. It's good, but it's not quite the Lizard Arc, the like weird city thing. I feel like season 3 is where it starts getting that pace, that like bah 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 kind of thing, you know. Also, I just love Sebas is the best. Like the season 2 does such a good job about being like Sebas is amazing in that anime. Nub says season 4 was a disappointment for me. Oh, I would say that. I would say that. Oh, would you think it would be better than season 2? What would you put the seasons? Because I want to know if you're like me. I would say season 3. Season 3 is my favorite. Season 1 is my next favorite. Then my least favorite is season 2. Where would you put the 4th season? Not quite as bad as 2. Better than 1. The worst of all of them. That'd be a real. I don't want to hear that. That's my parasite. I'll go into it looking to be upset. What anime are you thinking of watching, Bolty, by the way? Is the floating... You find the Mondstadt one on the way to the Thousand Wind Temple. Okay. You have a way better gravity of what I'm thinking about and all that, or like what names are called. Also, we're gonna do this real quick. I'm gonna pause this. God damn it, fucking thing. Why is that not working, dude? I hate this mouse. Ah. Okay. All right. I just want another good isekai. What anime have you seen? Overlord? Have you seen what is it called? Trapped in a Dating Sim. Have you seen that? What have you seen? I guess I should just list out what isekais have you seen? Just check them out. This just be like slime, reincarnated slime, spider, overlord, shield hero. Hit them up for me. I've seen both. Seen both dropped over. Really? I'm surprised with the overlord dropping. That's interesting. You've seen shield hero. Too many to count. Huh. I don't have a I don't have a isekai per se, but I do have like a fantasy D&D character one. And it's like, you know how Overlord's like the mage archetype, and then Black Clover or whatever is like the melee archetype. Well, there's one with the archer archetype, which I think is like one of the more hidden gems out there. Like the main protagonist has like red hair, and it's just rad. It's just super cool. Sorry, it's so loud. Also, does this look violent? Well, I stopped it, but I'm starting to realize maybe there's a reason why people haven't made a perfect play of this game, because it would instantly get demonetized. So it looks absurdly like headshot, knee shot, face shot, drop. It just seems like we're making it really easy for people to be like, hey, video games cause horrible things to take place. Come on, mouse. Lock it in, you son of a bitch. That one's on it. Nub says, I watched Edge Runner today, and I think people overhyped the show. I heard it was good, but I also think that, yeah, because so many people were saying it was so good, that's why I'm trying to leave it to the side until I can get to it, because I'm also like, I could see it being a little bit. I'm sure it's good, but I'm sure it's like, people were making that sound like it was like a shield hero, reincarnated. I'll be honest, man. I love Overlord, but I think Slime might be my favorite one. I watched Edrun. Zero says you find that average season 4. Well, from the looks of it, season 5 is my favorite by 3, 1, and 2. Wait, what? I'd say season. What you mean? What? Well, from the look of season, are we getting a season 5 soon, or is that what was out just now? Am I fucked up and I'm thinking of like them all weird? By looks of it, season 5 is my favorite season, followed by 3, 1, and 2. Okay, so 2 is also your least favorite. Okay, I'd say 4 or lower than 2. Just cause it's not season 5. Is season 5 the newest one? I'm lost on I'm on season 3 right now, and then we have 4. Is there another one? Or another one? Is there 4 and 5? Am I 2 seasons behind? What's happening? Okay. Or are they like doing a back-to-back season like they did the previous time, where it was basically like bop bop? Like I think season 3 and 4 came out almost at the same time. Or wait, season 2 and 3 came out at the same time. Bodhi says, too much count. Okay, I do think 4 is one of the weaker ones because all they do is setting it up. Oh, I see. So okay, it's one of those things where like 4 is getting set up for 5. Makes sense. Bodhi says, see both dropped Overlord. I've seen both. Dropped Overlord. Eminence in Shadows is looking to be fucking great. Okay. Is that the one you told us about, Nub? The one that's like the weird isekai, like fake isekai one? You could watch both. You could watch the Netflix isekai show, which is like a guy who is like an isekai after the isekai. Too many. Can't give me the right to ban Bolty. You can't. You cannot. Bolty's far too wholesome for us. But I will say I've very rarely heard people not like Overlord. It's usually, but also I can't make sense if you don't like the. Well, I don't know. Yeah, I think Overlord's also gritty and kind of like. It's gotta be mean, you know, like meaninglessly mean, you know. I wouldn't say meaninglessly. It has a point usually to its violence and cruelty. Red says, I second that. Rolly says, I just didn't like the dragging on when Sebas arc started. That's funny. Yeah, no, that's funny because I would think season 3 would be, to me, was the one where I actually started to get invested a little bit more. Oh wait, no, sorry. Yeah, no, yeah, you're right. Yeah, that's what me and Nub are talking about, Bolty. Season 2, where you were watching, is the worst season that ever. Like at least me and Nub are in agreement of. Season 2 to me was the least fun. I like Sebas arc. It's actually pretty nice, but it's definitely like there's not a lot happening. So yeah, but. I'll be honest, guys. I can't look away. Every time I look at the camera, I keep looking at like it's just horribly violent to where my eyes just keep getting pulled to this camera because I can see the playback. When I look this way, I can see me. I'm talking to chat and looking at myself to make sure I'm not stupid. And yeah, but I keep looking at the fucking this, and it's the whole thing. Anyways. But yeah, no, I think Bolty, you would like it if you just got past that arc. I think it's a shame because I think season 3, where he finally starts, there's like political power starts getting in play. You might not like it because it's, I don't think it's as slow as season 2. Season 2 is a lot of like, let's do some world building, but it's like not fun world building, you know? Like I feel like the Lizard arc could have been wrapped up as like in a fun way by looking through the eyes of like one of his followers. Or Ainz. Instead it was like, let's actually go into what they believe. And I'm like, I don't care. I don't care about the lizards having their weird fucking like tribal warfare, alright? But seeing like one of his followers kind of react to what's going on in the world and like have a different perspective on them. The only thing I will say, it's a little bit unfortunate. Holy shit, thank you so much, Lone Syndicate. Lone Syndicate says, what's good, Lone Syndicate? What took your time? What had your time? Also, Lone Syndicate just subscribed for 28 months. Jesus Christ. Summertime. That's amazing. Thank you so much for the support, Lone Syndicate. Sorry, I used to laugh whenever I see Nub's comment. Give me the right to ban Bolty. I should clarify, I might be hyper biased against the story. Season 5 is probably in 3 years. Oh, really? Oh man, I don't know where. I guess it makes sense, but to me, it's one of those things where it's just like, God damn it, really? Season 5? Like, or sorry, I don't know why. Like, Black Clover. It fucked me up because they're like, oh, this is working. Let's continue to do this. So then I just put that on just about everybody else and say, okay, well, sure, it's going to take you maybe like a year more time because you're going to go through the depth, the quality, and all these things. But you can do it, like especially if you know that this is like. But I think it's like these companies do a little bit of everything, and they probably make more money that way. But I don't know how you wouldn't try to like capture the value that's clearly the hype around something, you know. Zero says Var Golden at the Wangshu Inn and Harblast Guild in the cell. Oh, perfect. Lovely. For those flowers? Nice. Nub says, you didn't like snakes? You mean lizard? I feel like, I'm not sure they were really snakes, but yes, it was a whole thing. I will say, I do like that he brought him back, though. That's something that, I will say that's the only thing in Overlord that to me, I think this is the main issue with the season 2 one. Also, it's probably the issue with most of it, but I don't enjoy a lot in the show where I wish there was more. All of his followers morally are on the same page with the exception of Sebas. And he's still on the same page. He's just kind of like, justice. Like, oh, I'll still kill a whole family if it means it's in line with justice or something. But also I do like, Ainz is like, I don't know if he holds to this, but I like his perspective of morality, which is, he reacts to whatever is given to him in the same way. So evil actions demand evil, good actions can demand good. But largely it's just a give what you get received kind of thing. But to me, that's one thing that I found from the series was lacking. Is I hated that everybody, like all of his floor guardians, are basically like, oh, they're gonna be fine with this. Oh, they're like, it'd be cool to see somebody be like, I don't want to do this. Like this is compromising me in some way. But it's pretty. They're all pretty locked into being monsters, you know. Red says, I want to find out why Ainz keeps having the aura wash over him, calming him down. I think it's just because I think in the books they clarify it more, which is he's basically an undead. So because he is playing the undead role, he can't get angry. Yeah. Also, I think he's a lich skeleton, so it's basically just trying to keep you in the same swing with the world. So I think there probably could be like a one-off arc or a one-off thing where he becomes human by taking like a potion or whatever, and then he no longer, he can have human emotions, he can have these human traits that he used to have. But I think it's just the world basically reacting to him, keeping him back to centered, because liches are supposed to be unfeeling. So whenever he feels a swell of emotions, the lich, like his literal nature, the body that he's in, keeps adjusting him back because the game world still somewhat exists, apparently. But yeah. Lone Syndicate says, I went to a mandatory work meeting, so that's where I was like, gotcha. How was it? You have a good time? You get some shit done? Or was it a lot of like, I hear a lot of meetings that are just kind of like, here we go, more of this, more of that, kind of thing, you know. One thing it says, also GRINN didn't say the last night, but last night's stream went good. I'm digging the VR. Yeah, man, I hope you like this one. I fixed the camera. What do you call it? I mentioned this like 3 times in the stream, but Red mentioned that it was pretty zoomed in, and then having looked at the actual stream, because I can't really look at it whilst I'm in there, unfortunately. But it was very pulled in. Like, this is what we're experiencing now, which I hope is better. The FOV is pulled back, and it's fitted and all these things, so it should look better for viewing wise. Because beforehand I was doing this and like gestures and shit, and you guys are just seeing my little tips of my fingers, basically. But I pulled the FOV way back, so now you can see way more of the screen. You can also see my disembodied hands, which might be weird. I don't know. But yeah. Also, this is we didn't get it completed yesterday. I just ran through it last night because I wanted to play until I got motion sickness. Mission achieved. But we beat it, so it's cool. I still haven't really nailed down the like weird like lag issues happening with it, which is definitely present still. Bodhi says your stream was pretty fun. Thanks, Bodhi. I appreciate it. It was. I hopefully the audio will be better because I'm actually going to try using the headset microphone, which I was shocked to see it was actually pretty good. It makes sense. Meta is kind of like their whole. Meta's. I'll be honest. The whole Oculus thing is kind of silly. Like Meta's doing stuff that doesn't make the most sense. Like the whole Oculus, Facebook, whatever. Like I think they have the right idea, but like the future is like VR chat essentially, like you being able to talk to your friend, you going to other worlds where modding people are just fucking going blitzkrieging and just making tons of like spaces for you to hang out in. That makes sense. But then Meta's like, let's redesign the entirety of a social hub, and it's like, what? Like, what? No. Like you're fighting a battle you're gonna lose for sure, you know. Anyways, but the one thing they could be doing is investing in fucking video games so that people want to do the thing. But anyways, my point is that the Oculus Rift, the mic in it actually is pretty good. because I think they're building it to be a social thing, to put it on and be like, hello, John from accounting, and it's like, fucking what? Yeah. So the mic is good, thankfully for me, but also, you can play video games, it can be fun. But yes, how long until you get motion sick? Nub, I am bulletproof. I am absolutely fucking rock solid. Until I move. Until I move with the joystick. This, it feels like shit. I started at 5 minutes, and then I started getting a little motion sick when I started moving with the joystick. Basically, when I move, my whole body wants to lean forward. Like some people have this feeling of like in VR they're fine. I have this feeling of like half in, half out. Like I don't tend to move. Like you guys can see here, I'm like playing it like an FPS kind of, where I should be moving around corners, but I'm not. I've recently tweaked things that have helped. Like there's this weird like snapping camera thing, which is weird. Anyways, I started at like 8 minutes. And then I worked up to 15 minutes. And basically every single night I've been just playing until I get motion sick. And I've been able to push it to 20 minutes now. But also, the more we played, I felt like it subsided. Like, as long as I can take a minute, collect myself, and go again. Also, she wasn't following me. That's why I was like, what the fuck's happening? Also, I've never experienced this part, which is just super difficult when it comes to, like, aim. Like, it's super... Also, I think my hand was clipping on something, so I wasn't able to actually aim and shoot, but I was getting lit up. I was cowering behind a stack of bricks, essentially. Bolty says, Metaverse has legs now. I know, I've seen it. Yeah, they have full motion tracking. Or they're going to, apparently. Well, that sounds awesome, man. Yeah, again, I think, like, Facebook... Yeah, like you can't argue in any way that like Meta or whatever isn't doing a lot for VR. Like Steam for such a long time, like their Oculus never went down in price at all. It was still extraordinarily expensive. So the fact that Meta was able to be like, here's $300 one was nuts. But also the fact that they're using things that to me makes sense, like, because basically one of the things with VR is when your body is out of alignment, it sends weird signals to your brain, which is why the main thing I'm fine moving my arms, because my brain just able to say that makes sense. But when it comes to moving while I'm not moving, my brain goes it just starts having a stroke, which is not good. But yeah, the whole point is that if they can create an AI that can simulate where your arms are most likely in real time, then it will help your brain get less sick by movement. So theoretically, yeah. I also think that it might help to play VR like Half-Life Alyx and sit down on a chair and then use the movement aim controls like that. Because I find, yeah, when you're standing, you get this weird vertigo feeling. It's hard to describe. And again, the thing is that some people might say, okay, well, there's things you can do to limit motion sickness. Use teleportation, don't move. That kind of stuff. I can't. It's unfortunate, but I can't. The reason why is because my end goal for this whole VR journey is to make a perfect play. To run this level probably 100 times until I map out where every enemy is and create an incredibly aesthetic, very well filmed video, essentially of this. To where like it just looks like someone just who have mapped out every enemy is and then just goes fucking blitzkriegs the whole level in like a second. And then to do that with the other 3 levels I have. Yeah. Bolty says, and they sell it as an amazing update. You don't think it's amazing? I think it's pretty amazing. You know how much money you have to buy to have full VR tracking, Bolty? You have to spend, I think it's like, almost maybe $120 or $80, $120, $80 kind of parameter. You basically stick these things on your legs and your body to have full body tracking. And again, people might be like, who cares if you can see your legs? But it helps with motion sickness. It also helps with your avatar. So if you're wanting to mess around in like a VR world, people can genuinely see your entire body, like your legs and your kicking and stuff like that. It's going to take time, I think, to get to us. And I think it will get significantly better if they're able to like use machine learning to like constantly like basically learn from everybody's like genetic structure and then do it again. I think then they'll be good. But if they're just going on like a one-to-one basis, that's weird. Yeah, I wish more companies did the whole machine learning thing because it's pretty nuts. at least I think it is. Nub says, I don't think Metaverse has legs at all. Oh, you mean like the meta thing? No, I don't. I think meta is like the whole metaverse. Yeah, I don't think that. I think VR chat, again, it's ridiculous. Like, it would have been so much smarter for Facebook just to buy VR chat, and then just to kind of add shit over time and improve the overall experiences that are existing in that. Because their weird idea that they think they're gonna, it just doesn't make any sense. Like, the amount of money that you spent on making a whole weird metaverse, you would have just been able to buy VR chat. Like, VR chat is not like the most lucrative thing. I would be shocked if they wouldn't allow them to buy the thing. Maybe VR chat is way more successful than I thought, but I think Facebook would have been able to buy them. But I think they were like, no, we want to make something more like cartoony and family friendly. And it's like, dude, I'm sorry, that was not the right play. Like, this is, I don't think you're gonna get the main client base on Facebook is old people and like people who want to connect with their families, essentially, or want to have like a social hub for their family. They needed to break into a new market, and then it seems like they're, instead of buying VR chat, which already has like a young market and young people in it, they were like, let's be different and like let's try to like appease our old people and young people, but that's not how it works, you know. But I do think Meta will still survive. I think that the fact that they're pioneering mechanics that other companies can use, which is shitty. I think they should be investing in video games, and instead they're investing in like social experiences. I wonder if they're also doing both. I could see them doing both. It'd be shocking to see them not do both. But are also, yeah, I think that, well, it worries me, honestly, because I think that they seem to be like, I don't think they've released a game yet that isn't like, and if it is, it's like super limited based on the Oculus, or based on the like standalone limitation of the Quest, which is fine if the game also looked great when you plugged it into a PC, but if not, then fucking what the heck, you know. Nub says that's why I said it wouldn't. I wouldn't use VR unless I have the full Omni setup. Well, what do you mean? Oh yeah. Oh, I see. So yeah, because of the motion sickness. Yeah. Oh, I mean, I think you can also do like this. To me, I'm able to move around and experience it. I will say, totally could see the value of either having like a cord attached to the ceiling, or even just having a huge play area. But my thing that pisses me off, man, is these fucking people who have all that don't fucking. It's like, I don't know. I guess it's what it is, but like the distant limitation of of not being able to be in that space. Like, I've talked about this beforehand, but it's like the definition of thinking outside of the box. It genuinely helps you when you are not in the box, because you're able just to imagine the possibilities of something without having to like, without being so close to the thing that you're basically locked in too close. You know what I mean? Like, you think outside of the box, you gotta step back. But like the idea that I've seen like these VR people who all they basically do is just hang out in VR chat. I'm like, that's cool, but like, you literally have a full body tracking armor, like bulletproof vest, and they're like hanging out in VR chat. And I'm like, you could create like, maybe it's a super niche thing, but I can't help but when this is here, this is my dumb gameplay too. But like when you're going on a tear in this game, like that's about to kind of happen when I get my head on my ass and I start playing actually, I find it hard not to look at it and be like, Jesus Christ, like it's just, I will say the tilting of my head could probably get better. This is the thing that's going to take me probably 100 attempts to get well, is realize that it's not just about hitting every headshot, which is nuts, but it's about filming in such a way that people can see what you're doing and not just see like again, you go boom, 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 and that's it. Because you won't be able to translate that as easily, I think. But yeah, I think I see a lot of VR stuff that I'm like, Jesus Christ, that looks so cool, and then people could do so much with it, but then people don't, and I'm like, oh. But I will say I am happy with the way I'm forcing myself to get comfortable with it, because I still don't see a lot of people who play VR play it like this, you know, like punch in, run at someone, shoot them, etc. Everyone stays standard, does this a lot. Like, I see a lot of that. Maybe I'm just not watching the right people, but I remember even when I'm watching like Half-Life Alyx videos, I didn't see a lot of people move in the way that I wanted them to move. It still felt very much like Yeah, like no one's doing that where they grab a corpse, throw him out of the way, peek around the corner, lock down everyone, you know, like that. I don't know. To me, that's what I wanted to see when I was watching these gameplay clips. Also, Lone Syndicate, I'm curious. For someone who has never engaged VR, because you said, like, I don't know what to expect. I don't really know what looks good, what doesn't look good. What do you feel when watching it? And I'm talking brutal honesty. Did you feel sick when watching it? Were there parts where you thought, were there moments where you could see limitations? Was it also just maybe not your thing? Red says, I care if I can see my legs. I hate the whole floating hand bullshit in VR. Very not immersive. Have you played VR, Red? Because there's a reason for it. It's sickness. You'll feel sick if you see your arms. You'll feel sick if you see your arms in the position where they're not supposed to be. It's a disconnect, essentially. But I think it would probably be fine. I think Half-Life Alyx also doesn't have arms. Yeah, it's like one of those things where people think like, oh, well, I should hold off my opinion yet, because you might be right. But that's like the main reason why. Because I looked into that too. I was like, why can't we see our bodies? I would feel like that'd be better. I played a video game recently though where I looked down at my body and it was like 3 inches ahead of where I was, which was weird, and it made me feel a little like, I don't like that. That's the epitome of like VR, where it's like, I don't like that. That feels not right. But it's not like disconnecting so much so. But Boneworks and Bone Labs has a full body arms and all that. So I'll get back to you. We'll eventually play that on stream. Yeah. Outside of this game though, Red was the one that he talked and said he would want to see Half-Life Alyx. I don't know if we should do a full playthrough on that, and that could be fun to do in like the downtime when I'm tired of live, dying, repeating over this on this game. But I don't know. Part of me would think it'd be fun, but I don't know. Maybe not like a full blown let's play, but like we could just play it whenever we want to. Essentially, take a break from that. We may not be up to current time, but yeah. Abolti says, meh, I think of meta as a joke, if I'm being honest, on internet, in their production / games. Yeah, I can understand not getting like some of the things that they're suggesting, like, or sorry, some of the things that they're like aiming for, like the social element, but I don't know how, I don't think it's like not even a debate that they push the at least to me. I say this as a person who, like, I'm not the kind of person that can drop $800 without it being meaningful. Even if I save, like I might have like, what do you call it, an excessive amount of money in savings. I just, as a person, I find it extraordinarily hard to just justify dropping $800. So the fact that they were able to drop that to about $300, I was like, that's about the same amount that I'd spend on a console, maybe less. And I would basically get access to an experience that to me would seem like way more unique than a console experience, which I would just get on PC. So to me, and the fact that they were able to do that, they allowed me to try this out, and then allow me to realize, holy shit, this is actually, they helped me realize a type of video I wanted to make that I didn't think I could make otherwise, because of just the state of not having that level of extra income. And it's not even about extra income, it's about just the process of like, holy shit, that's hella expensive. So to say that, like, at the bare minimum, Meta hasn't done that, is create like a consumer product that most people can experience that's not too costly, and also because they have such vested interest in other things like their social elements and stuff like that, they can take a loss within the hardware, is to me pretty impactful. Regardless if you like Mark Zuckerberg or Facebook, I don't like either really, but I don't hate either. I don't really hate anybody really, like especially these people. Everyone's flawed. That's my thought on it all. But anyways, but yeah. Also, it's funny that you have to like knock the pieces of rubble out to just be able to open up the toilet seat. Where is it? There's my cursor. Scroll up. Red agrees with Bolty on like not enjoying meta. Yeah. No, I understand the like not liking I don't know. I guess I don't understand the whole, like, I understand, like you thinking that Facebook or Meta is just aiming in the wrong direction. But I don't understand saying, like, the hardware to me, if you've experienced the hardware, is pretty good. It's pretty good, you know what I mean? Like, it lets you actually participate in this thing. And yeah. Nub said I'll be in lurk mode. I don't think I'll be back before the end of this one. Gotcha, Nub. Thank you for talking to me. Always appreciate catching up and getting your thoughts on things. Woody says, the Eminence of Shadows is kind of good, but I need something that's that is filled out already. What is Eminence of Shadow? What is that? Red says no. Lone Secret says, I said I enjoyed it and I didn't feel sick when watching. 10 out of 10 would watch again. Okay, cool, good. Did you shoot that guy in the crowd? Don't talk. Listen, you're in VR. You're kind of just, living your best life. Okay. Yeah. It does help also that you have unlimited ammo in this, so you could be an asshole and like shoot a body 5 times. But I really hope the guy who makes this mod makes a fucking game. Like, to me, that's insane. Like, the person who made this mod, I would be blown away if he is not, like, immediately by either Valve or by anybody, Facebook, anybody, Meta, whatever, anybody who they don't just give him a pile of money and say, like, because he made the new gun texture, he is using Half-Life Alyx base engine, which is good. But even still, like, the environmental design is really good. The way every enemy pops in and comes at you is really good. The way he's scaled out, like, this guy is one of the creators for Half-Life Alyx mod that rebalances the game so that headshots feel rewarding. Because my God, did Valve shit the bed in that way? I fucking hate. Like, every time I see a person empty of fucking 5 bullets into a person's head, and you're like, he's still up. I'm like, this is just stupid. Like, it's not like an FPS shooter where the gun stays perfectly straight the minute that you pull the trigger. Like, your hand will adjust and move. It's actually incredibly hard to stay on sight. That's why most people shoot like 2 at the head, get tired, and then just aim at the chest and unload 3. At least in this. At least that's my feeling. But the fact that guy was actually able to, like, cultivate balancing that feels super rewarding and satisfying is insane. Like, this has the most endorsements and mod reviews on Steam that you can get. Also, you literally hit a button and it's installed to Steam, so, like, it's extremely easy to download. Undivided Attention. Before we get to that, sorry, not quite. Red says the most I've done in some very basic VR stuff with the basic Google Cardboard type of VR, but not Google Cardboard. I have a custom head. Yeah, it's to me. I've seen like a Samsung have one of those too, where you like set up a little tiny little thing. But yeah, no. Again, I think you have a sense for VR. That's great, but I think that you probably have a better sense than most people, frankly, with the whole VR thing. But to me, it's crazy because when you get like. Until you get in there and you have hands and you're like moving them around and you start to realize, oh, they're kind of right about, because I've heard people say the whole like arm thing. And I thought, I don't think I'll feel that way. I heard people say motion sickness, and I thought, I don't know if I really feel that way. And I don't really know if I would classify as motion sickness because I don't get motion sick by anything but going forward. When there's a huge disconnect between what your character is doing in the game and what your body's not doing. Which in that instance, there's nothing more than like movement, which movement your body is supposed to lean and balance out. But anyways, Undivided Attention by Lone Syndicate says, also Grin, I wanted to talk to you about the Future Diaries. Oh, hell yeah, hit me with it. Also Parallel War Pharmacy, and how I feel about them in regards to Future Diaries. In general, Future Diaries I enjoyed. It had so many twists and turns and stakes in the ending. However, I was a bit conflicted about it because, in a way, everything they did was kind of nothing for nothing. And Parallel World, very wholesome. I enjoyed the main character, but I get what you meant by kind of just ends. Kind of, you're like, and we're done. And like, okay. Which, especially the way they like defeat the final boss, which they're like hinting at throughout the entire time, and they're like, he just like lays his ass out. Okay. And the whole story is like big braining science and being like, okay, the genetic compounds, getting this thing and making it. And then for the main character, he at the end it's just like, yeah, we're just hanging out, like, or he just dies, kind of. You just nuke him essentially. So yeah, and that felt quite quick, but also it doesn't feel good that I do like that it concluded, because apparently there's not a lot of source material, and that's something that people are like, it's gonna get a little rough. As far as Future Diaries, yeah. Future Diaries has a lot of twists and turns. I agree with that. It's crazy. I will say I'm always sad that the one guy, certain character in there, happened to pass away. Best bro dude ever. Anyways, happened to not make it. As far as it not meaning anything, I'm curious what you mean by that, because it, like, I just feel like Future Diaries went so galactic that it was kind of like, oh, everything kind of had a weird point to it, like maybe too much of a point, really. Yeah, it's hard to describe. Also, we're at the BRB. But yeah, I'm curious. What do you mean by that exactly? What do you? Because to me, it all like moved towards an ending that kind of made sense, especially with the twists and turns towards the end, where you find out that, oh, this has happened a lot. Like, to me, I don't know. I didn't feel the emptiness that sometimes I feel when I see it was all a dream sequence, which that feels pretty empty and like annoying. But yeah, I'm curious what you feel about that. Yeah. Red says, I've never used any real VR headset with prompt lens and tracking. Yeah. Maybe again, there are people who also don't have any of this. But I also wonder if those people could also recognize, I kind of get it. I kind of get that it's a little, like, I don't feel as much of the depths of your sickness as you do, but I can kind of see how this feels a little odd, Zero says, have a salad. What? What? Red says, my problem with Meta is that Facebook itself, I don't trust Facebook for shit. I like it, fuck off. I think to me, Facebook is just the very obvious. I think every company's like Facebook, I guess. Like, to me, when people say, I don't trust Facebook, it's like, do you trust any of these people? Like, again, I don't know if I trust anybody, man. Like yeah. But also, I understand, like, they've had very obvious, like, breaches and things that they've done. But, I don't know. I just think, like, to me, oftentimes, everything is kind of the same and equally as bad, I guess. Like, most companies that people bet on, even if you love them to bits, tend to have if you think from their perspective, and their issues they're dealing with, and their like responsibilities and values, everything kind of makes sense, at least to me. Yeah, doesn't mean it's good, but it, like, empathizing with them and seeing it from their perspective of, like, okay, well, if you're looking from their perspective, they need to make money, they'll sell your data, they're like, they got families to take care of, like, yeah, I think every company kind of can be is pretty cutthroat in that way. And I guess I wouldn't treat, like, Twitter or any of these other platforms in a grandeur. But I don't think that's necessarily what Red's doing either. I think Red's just like, we're for sure, we know Facebook done some sketchy things. I just don't know if I think they've done anything that's reprehensible. Like, but also I'm not a person that's very weird with my data. Like, people know what I look up porn wise. People know what I search. It's not great. I wouldn't enjoy it. I'd like the idea of privacy, but I just don't think our future has it in our cards. So I just think, we're fucked. Let's just run it. Let's just run it. Zero says lettuce, carrots, tomatoes, red onions, radishes, and Italian dressing. Oh yeah, and cheese. What is this referring to? What? What? Zero? What did I say that talked on the topic of food? Bodhi says, I got told that I'm pretty skinny for how much I eat today. Then I proceeded to see me. Oh, let me see. Oh, man, maybe I missed I missed a comment, maybe. Anyways, Bodhi says, I got told that I'm pretty skinny for how much I eat today. Then I proceeded to eat. It preceded me in my mirror, and I think, what the fuck are they talking about? Yeah, well, it's either two things. One of them, it could just be someone being sweet, someone being like, okay, well, this is something that I would appreciate if somebody told to me, and I think is nice to say, but to this person could mean nothing, because you have no weight issue ever. You know, you never really cared whether you're like bigger, thicker, smaller, whatever. But to that person, that's a compliment, or that's a big thing to say to somebody. It also could be meaning people, like things are relative. Also, I could think it like maybe to people being like, you don't eat as much as others. Like that's a thing, both like for me at least. I've always had to, like, I've always had a pretty decent metabolism, but ever since I started fasting and like that kind of thing, people like I get the opposite. I have people say, I can't believe you eat so much and like don't put on weight. And it's like, it's not like, again, one of the things that frustrates me about the fitness community, the weight loss community, is that it's basically the same information we've always had, and it hasn't changed kind of like at all. But it's just the perception that people have has kind of changed. What I mean by that, to be clear, is like all you need to do is be at a calorie deficit if you want to lose weight. That's it. If you want to maintain your weight, you maintain your calorie intake based on your weight, age, and things like that. And if you go up you go up 2 pounds, then you're off. Go down, eat a little bit less calories, you're good. That kind of thing. But for me, because I fast, I don't eat lunch, I don't eat breakfast. I need to get 3,000 calories based on my exercise load and age and height and etc. I need to eat 3,000 calories worth of food. So that requires me to have like the biggest meal you've ever seen. And I have to eat until I feel sick, and then I have to finish my food, which is extraordinarily agonizing, but it is what it is. And I'd rather have mental clarity all day because whenever I eat food, it takes a long time for me to digest it, no matter what it is. It doesn't change if I have salad or anything like that. But anyways, that's one of those things for me that people have always told me that I eat too much, or I have like a great metabolism. It's like, no, idiot, I'm eating the same amount of food that you eat. In fact, I'm probably eating less. So like, yeah, it's frustrating. But I think that people always try to like, I don't know. I think I'm trying to empathize with how people perceive it. I think it's that. I think that to them, it's like an acknowledgement of a benefit that you have that they wish they had, without acknowledging that that benefit may not be a benefit and or of value to you in any way. So for instance, for me, again, it's like when someone says, oh my God, you're so tall. Or like, oh, like people mention it almost as like a compliment or as an acknowledgement of a benefit that you have that's valuable to them, but to you means nothing. It's like, what do you mean? Yeah, but to a person who's short and a person who struggle with that's a huge compliment or a huge gain. Same thing with someone who talks about like having a high metabolism. Is like, I wish I had that, but it's also unfortunate when you're like, I have the same metabolism as you, I'm doing like, it's, I guess it's for a person it could be considered insulting. Not really insulting. I don't not necessarily take it that way. I just consider it to be a misperception. But for a person to be like, oh my God, you've gained so much without having to do anything. And it's like, bitch, I've had to do a lot. Excuse me. But to make themselves feel better, they usually chalk it up to being like special or being somehow being okay in an XYZ way, you know? Which isn't necessarily wrong or evil on their part. It's just a human proclivity to kind of be like, well, it's easier to believe that everyone else is gifted and I'm not, and therefore I don't have to even participate in the game. Also, sorry to make that about me so much. Lone Singing says, finish the final boss. We didn't have time for a proper ending roll. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Bodhi says, I feel accomplished with future diaries and ending since the boy got to be a man. Well, wait, yeah, well, to me it's more than that. Future diaries had like this the conclusion that to me was pretty satisfying, at least in the way that, how do I describe it? It's a little bit tricky to describe, but yeah, future diaries to me had a really cool way of looking at things, at least in the way of the ending, where it did have like everyone kind of came out on top. Like it wasn't one of those things where, like, to me, I would not suggest future diaries if it ended terribly. Like I just don't like shows like that. I feel like the journey wasn't worth it. Essentially, it wasn't like the suffering, the struggle. It all just meant death and everything ended, you know? That's why I fucking despise Devilman Crybaby. Like, I watched that because the person who I enjoy the opinion of suggested the anime, and I thought, okay, awesome. I saw clips of it. I thought it looked so cool. If only somebody were to tell me, hey, Grin, it's one of those, it's worse than it was all a dream. It was, oh God, no. And I was like, well, shit. What a good raid, Nade. How are you, raid, Nade? How's life been treating you? Lone Singh, it says, no, the ending I was referring to, in a way, I like it and everything that happened wrapped up nicely. But the main character is sitting in the void, all depressed, which is valid because he was blindly aiming for the goal he didn't know all the details behind. Do you not finish it? That's not how it ends. Yeah. Unless there's like an abridged ending. No. Yeah. Someone comes in to say hi, though. Yeah. Did you finish it? I don't think you finished it. Unless I'm misremembering it. But I think they build a world together. I think you got... Yeah. Oh, no, really? Oh, Richie, really? Rip Hagrid? Hagrid died? Oh, it was Voldemort, now it's Hagrid. Oh, that's sad. That's hell sad, man. Eesh. Ragnate says, I'm fine. Just been chilling, playing my Pokemon randomizer. Ooh, that sounds fun. I see a lot of people play that. People seem to have a good time with that. Red says, I'm back. What I missed? Nothing. Where's vibing? Zero says, my salad. Oh, you having some food and you got a nice salad. Gotcha. Nice, man. That's clean eating. Nice. Lozington says, but the female did come. Okay, yeah, it did come back in the end. With them starting. Yeah, okay, yeah. That I was like, to me, it has a pretty good ending. It has like you said, it has like a little bit of punishment on like being a little bit egotistical, but also it has him being like, hey, it all kind of worked out, you know. The only thing I'm having an issue with now is what anime do I watch now after watching Future Diaries, which is a high stakes anime, and Parallel Word Pharmacy is wholesome. Maybe you need something in the middle. Maybe you need something just right in the middle, a little bit like some stakes. No, actually, no stakes, but a little bit dark, still a little bit ominous, good world building. And you don't watch Overlord. You don't watch Overlord. I'm ahead of you. I'm at season 3. You need to catch up. But yes, although you probably won't binge the whole ass season, maybe. Red says being tall is crucial. The only benefit, is a curse. Yeah, being tall is a curse. The only benefit it has is it provides is in basketball, sports. Apparently, also like the dating world, it's pretty. Well, I don't know though. I'll maybe push back on the whole thing. I feel like if a woman's only or up there for her like must have traits within a person is height, you probably don't want to date that person in the first place. That person needs to probably find themselves a little bit more, figure out what genuinely kind of matters in scales. But yeah, we don't need to talk about this. Listen, just get used to the controls. Anyway, Brody says the calorie deficit I totally get. It, but since I want to work out more, I miss out on 3 weeks going to the gym since I was sick. I had to study for university, but I still kept eating more and has gotten more of a habit than I feel. Yeah, no, you definitely need to be careful with that. Yeah. Again, it's like the whole calorie thing makes sense. So if you condition your body to constantly succumb to hunger, then your body will basically trigger you whenever you need to eat. That's why, like, for me, I spent about a week and a half into fasting and eating one meal a day, and I no longer feel really hungry in the middle of the day. If anything, it comes in a moment and goes away, because at the end of the day, my body knows that, like, the signal isn't making sense anymore, because we always keep getting fed. So to ease up on it until there's probably a problem. But yeah. But you also want to make sure you're listening to your body so that you're not, like, starving. Well, again, as long as you eat, you're good. Lone Singer says the only thing I'm having an issue with is with now. Oh, right, what I watch next. Bolty says same. Well, yeah, both of you guys need another anime to watch. Bolty couldn't make it through the Overlord not so good season 2 arc, which I'll admit is probably the worst out of the lot. But the Eminence of Shadows. What is that? What is it called again? Or sorry, what is that about? Bolty again? The Eminence of Shadows. Lone Singer says, I think I might either watch Love is War season 3. There's a season 3? Or Data Lives season 4. There's a season 4? Okay. I don't know. That's a great news. I'm a season behind. I got 2 seasons. I still think does Konosuba have 3 seasons, or is it 2 seasons in a movie? I think it's 2 seasons in a movie. I still have to watch Konosuba season 2. I don't think I've watched that yet. That looks great. I might have watched season 2 of Konosuba. I feel like maybe. I think I might have made a should you watch series on it. I don't know. But yes. GRINN. It's the number 1 rule. Never shoot a guy. If anything, I feel like that's the main rule. Like, do you want to hurt a person, or do you want to destroy them? You know what I mean? Leave them alive. Shoot that. What now? You know what I mean? Although you might make like a Rambo, nothing left to live for maniac. So a little rough, but still. But only got 2 episodes far. Yes, GRINN. Both of them been out. That was a part of the spring anime season. I didn't look at that for a while, I guess. Also, I don't know if my title is correct. I said that Parallel World Pharmacy, which, by the way, was a total banger. Like, you guys have no idea how grateful I am when I see an anime that I enjoy greatly have like a 4.5 on a show, because it doesn't happen a lot. I tend to like when I really like something, it's because it's super weird and up my alley kind of thing. I.e., my favorite show of all time, of anime of all time, which still has yet to be dethroned. Although if a Demon School, welcome to Demon School, Irmika, keeps popping off, then it might change, because there's 3 seasons opposed to the 2. But yeah, I love what is it called? I should know this. The Blood Lucky Battlefront. But it only had 2 seasons, and I think people liked it. I think it had like maybe a 3. Maybe it does have like a 4. Actually, I don't think I remember, but I remember people didn't talk about it as much as I did. And I thought, fuck, I love that show. Bodhi says, Irmika got a new season this season. Yeah, getting a new season this season. I know, Bodhi. I'm so excited. I can't even... Oh, my body's ready. My body's so ready. Also, you see fucking Claire, dude. Claire looks gorgeous, man. Oh, sure fucking... God damn, I love that show so much. Claire's outfit looks peak cute. She got like a cute little top hat on, got crazy shit happening. Apparently, she's gonna fucking level up and have like little floating demon things. Ooh. What do you call it? Zabeth or whatever. I can't think of his name. He's great too. But he looks crazy. Irma got his fucking ponytail tied up, ready to fuck some shit up with a bow. I don't know if I love that he's a bow archer. Kind of makes sense, but I would prefer if he was some sort of magic whatever. But you know, beggars can't be choosers is what it is. Lone Singer says, I enjoy it, Bolty. Oh, meh. Let me see. What's being said here? But Lone Singer says, but I did watch episode 1 of oh yeah, the weird like anime CSI bullet time weirdness thing. I enjoyed it, Bolty, but I also... Oh, wait, no. Bolty says, meh, Lycanthrope was kind of weird for me. I enjoyed it, Bolty, but I always had a thing for cool secret agent spies. I do too, Lone Snicket, but to me, I don't know why. I could be real messed up mentally, but I need a proxy. Like yeah, unless the show is like fucking dynamo, like sort like the world. So like I don't know. There's levels to like the shows that I always like watching. Either have a main protagonist, which to me is hella endearing, i.e. Yeah, like Blood Bucket Battlefront has one of the coolest main characters ever. Same thing with My Hero or whatever. All these shows that I deeply love have like either a great character, an incredibly interesting or weird world, and like very cool ideas. Those are like the three things that make up a show to me. So when I see that like Reloaded thing, like that's also why Soul Eater works for me. Like even though the main character is a girl who is awesome, etc., the world is just so cool that I'm like I'm actually interested to anybody who perceives this world. You know what I mean? Like anything that anyone who's looking at the world, having thoughts about this world, I want to hear from them. But like when it's kind of grounded in some sort of reality, like the anime looks gorgeous. The one you're talking about, it looks gorgeous, but like the female cast, I'm kind of just like, it's just a bunch of cute girls going through the paces of like being in this organization, and it's kind of like, I don't know, I don't care about the main character. I don't really care about the world because it's cool. It's like a spy. I like that. If it had, I guess it needs two of the three. It either needs like cool ideas in a great world, which is kind of parallel world pharmacy because the main character is kind of a little bit samey, but still he's interesting. But or you need to have like a crazy world and a really cool main character, i.e. Blood Blockade Battlefront, and well, actually, my top favorite shows have everything. Yeah. Also, again, like one of the a show that kind of circumnavigates all that is a show called Assassination Classroom, which has a voice actor that's a female, and also has a main character that's a boy that dresses up like a female, basically. And yeah, it's like I like that one quite a bit. So to me, it's weird. It's like again, but Blood in Assassination Classroom, it still follows the same formula, which is like a really interesting premise, really great ideas, and an amazing world. And the main character is also pretty good too. But to me, I guess if I need to have like a proxy of interest, either that's like a main character, the world. But if it doesn't have a main character that to me seems like I can empathize with, I can kind of like understand and like put myself in the same position or etc. That's why isekai to me hits the mark so many times, because it's usually like a dude character, which I can kind of get in the mindset of. It's also like a crazy world with like power fantasy, and like who doesn't want to have XYZ things, you know. But yeah. Bodhi says, bro, have you seen I'm standing on I haven't seen it yet. Is that one good? That one's one of those ones I wanted to watch too. That one looked weird, Bolty. That one looked like it was gritty, like had like a ground level weirdness to it. Is it good? You should watch that. It's in the queue. It's in the queue for me too. Yeah. I don't know. I've heard that one about that one a lot too. I've seen it when it was coming out. It looked like a little samey, but it had I heard a lot of people say good things about it. Also had a good bit of episodes, I thought. I thought it had like 24, and it has more slated, which is good. I was wondering, did any of you guys who like more of the Grimace anime, there was an anime last season which apparently was very very beloved, but it was basically like this pink-haired girl and like a bunch of kids, classroom kind of class, are on an island, and this like pink-haired girl is just going on a tear, slaughtering all of these people because of like a challenge or something. But yeah, I thought that would be one of the ones you guys should add to the queue who like kind of those types of shows. You know me, don't want it. It was also I don't know. To me, it's weird when there's a show that like. When there's a show like Overlord or Parasite, I guess to me the gratuitous nature of the art style to me I guess makes sense, but like that show did a specific thing where it like had a really cutesy art style, but then there were like moments where like they fished out bodies out of a pond and they had like bloating to them, and I was just like, this is disgusting. Don't corrupt my clean anime. It's funny because I think that like arguably the worst visual anime ever in terms of its gratuitousness is that weird like live die repeat like in a loop of death with tiny girls and a one dude and a bat. That one, which is just like, it's the same thing. It's like they rebooted it, and it's like in a nice, cute, poppy art style, and it's just the worst. It's just a mess. Mona Nana or Tenless Nana. That was a pretty good. I'm not sure which one it is. It's like this like pink-haired girl, I think, who has like pigtails. Has to like kill all of these classmates, and each classmate has like a power. And like the first half of it is like this guy who's like a wallflower, who she like says like, oh, I like you, or oh, you're so cool, then just pushes him off a cliff. Just fucking kills him. And it's like, oh, I feel yucky because you're watching kind of a bad person. Definitely a bad person, not a kind of. I think, yeah. I really like that. It gets really good. Valkyrie Dive. What's that? Is that the one I'm talking about? Oh yeah, that also is in the queue. That one, yeah. I'd be curious to see what you would think about it. Like, so, 'cause I think it's really up your. It's like it's specifically made for, I think, people like you, because it's got like cute girls. It's got like interesting characters. It very much feels also like feels like a mixture of that brutal anime where like guy with a bat and a bunch of other like childhood friends are just slaughtering each other horribly. There's like a mixture of that one. It's a mixture of the like Ace Attorney murder anime with like pink blood, whatever it is, that one. And then what's the other one I was thinking? Oh, and then I don't know, any sort of poppy anime, unless it has a classic bright, vibrant art style, you know. That's the one, yeah. Okay, so that's one of those names you listed. Gotcha. Ladies and gentlemen, I have to use the washroom, but we're about 10 minutes away. I can hold it. Ooh. Ladies and gentlemen, when our stream comes to a close, what are you gonna do? What do you got on the list today? I probably have a shower, try to eat, and then I have a video to edit. I have a video to edit that's a new video on the GRINN channel, or Brothers GRINN channel. It's This Week in Tower Fantasy, basically, where we go through the Reddit, we go through the Twitter, we go through the YouTube stuff, and we see what's happening in the community. And we kind of just look at it, make jokes, laugh, stuff like that. I have to edit that tonight. Hopefully I can get that up tomorrow. But yes. But also, I wanted to talk to you guys about this, but we don't have a lot of time really left. But I feel like stuff, well, we'll see. But basically, I really feel like I need to do more research and recon, essentially. So like one of the things I feel like I'm making videos, and I like some aspects of them. I really like the way how we've like had to glow up when it comes to thumbnails. I know some people are like, they like patterns, but I like the way that kind of came out. But I do need to get better. Like one thing I noticed is that we can make a thumbnail that's interesting if we talk about a subject that people are innately interested in. That was kind of the should you pull for Cobalt B video we made. But I can see in my analytics I'm not the best at engagement. I need to like break down. Basically, I need to do more research about what people genuinely want to see and look at, essentially, because that's I feel pretty like, okay, we're definitely missing the mark in that way. So we need to slow down and make sure we're hitting the mark in that way. I guess it makes sense. Which, again, I knew we were probably going to need to do, but especially with things keep stacking up and with me kind of wanting to try to get into VR while simultaneously trying to keep providing like I feel like this week I felt really spread thin, basically, where we were making a ton of content on GRINN with that. We made 2 Let It Die videos. We made 2 Share Your GRINN videos. We made 1.5 of in Brothers GRINN. Like we were very spread out. I don't think that's a good way to start a channel or to like maintain channels. I still want to do the Deathverse content. I appreciate everyone giving me clips and stuff like that. But ultimately, the feeling I have in my bones is that I want to do more research to understand more about what I could do to make things better and more efficient. And this week I haven't really felt, honestly, the last 3 weeks I haven't really felt like I had time just to go and like review what other people are doing and like understand why it's working and stuff like that, which I deeply want, you know? I'm gonna watch anime, play games, and draw. Nice. What anime you watching? What do you decide on? Like the recoil, I found that the world is interesting. Agents that stop crime because before it can happen. Okay, yeah, no, I think that's cool. To me, I think it's just missing the character that a main character that I want to invest in, and the ideas are cool. Like I think I've seen like magic kind of being used, and like there's secret agents, they're like cute girls and all these things, but it's not quite as like Welcome to Demon School, which is like a kid gets bought by a demon. Demon happens to be one of the warlords of hell. Then that said demon warlord is like a complete sap who just wants a grandson and someone to love, and then puts that kid into school in which he meets thousands of other weirdos, and the world looks extraordinarily crazy and like colorful and madness incarnate. And each episode he's doing like you're learning about magic class, and he's creating a giant sun blossom tree or a cherry blossom tree, like, you know what I mean? Like there's levels to this shit, and those ones tend to be a little fucky, you know, a little juiced up. Bolty says, I'm trying to edit a Deathverse clip vid. I'm trying to sync sword hits with some music. I don't think, Bolty, if you do, I'd prefer if you just left the base clip there. Unless you're using a royally free song. But if you give me a clip with like music in the background, I can't use it. Unless it's definitely royally free. Although that's the thing that's pissing me off a little bit about Let It Die is a lot of my old videos are getting claimed by music companies that are literally gung-hos. So I'm kind of like, okay, I made content for this game for a year, and viewership on those videos are pretty good, so people clearly like them, and all of those were trying to provide value, and you're copyright claiming my videos? Awesome. Awesome. Feels real good. Anyways, it's only been a couple, but it's enough to be like, oh, this could just detonate and everything be fucked. But yeah. Bordy says, I'm trying to edit the audio. I'm trying to sing the sort of edit at least a bit around. I see. Lone Singer says, I got to upload the rest of my Deathverse clips. I still don't know. Oh, you don't know what anime you're watching yet? Oh, another on the list is Dropkick on My Devil. What is that about, Lone Singer? Hit me with that. Bolty says, yeah, sure, I still have clips, but I would just be floating the Deathverse chat. Then with chat, what? Oh, then with clips? What do you mean? What do you mean? Also, ladies and gentlemen, we'll just wind down. We still got time. I want to hear about this anime before I go just watch it. It is getting like, okay, I need to watch it. Also, does anyone know that we could go raid someone? Is there anyone that we could go raid? God, my brain's not working, man. I'm getting real worried. I am ill and like very sick, but still, it's getting nuts. It's getting hard to just do words. But also, if it's someone who's streaming that we've already raided a bunch, with the exception of Luca, who we may not raid anybody today because I can't. My mouse isn't working really, so I can't shift through my things easily. I have to kind of like sit there and wait until it picks up a signal and then do it, and I get a little bit. I'm like, yeah. I have too many clips that I want. That's what I want to say. Oh, perfect. Yeah, Bolty, you guys just basically give me as many clips as you can, and I'll try to download as many as I can. And the thing that I hope you guys also realize though is it might take some time. Like I said, we uploaded 2 GRINN videos, or videos to the GRINN channel of Deathverse, which I liked. They did really well, also cool. But I also need to make sure I'm keeping pressure on those other ones. So it's not that it won't be used. It's just that it might take some time before I can actually use some of them. You know what I mean? But yeah, if you just throw them in that folder and they're up on YouTube and I can just download them, then that's good. Lone Singer says, I don't exactly know GRINN. I just saw the title and was like, I'll add that to the list. That's hilarious. Realize how you decide anime? To me, man, I used to like purely like find anime through Ambas. But I haven't actually, you know how I used to tell you guys I used to have like a routine of listening to music in the morning? Ever since I went hard in the paint on YouTube, it's all about like reviewing my books and getting better in that way. So I haven't had a chance to listen to music. My playlist is getting dead. Also, I haven't heard many things from the anime Anvil world. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what new thing has been added that I would have otherwise not given a chance. I got no one to raid. It says Loans gotcha. Bodhi says I don't want to flood the Discord with 7 gameplay vids. It's better that you do that in a burst, actually, Bolty. Especially if you guys, I think Alone Syndicate put his video clips in the GRINN tab. If you put the Deathverse clip tab, that's perfect. You can flood that as much as you want. I also think some people may not know that exists because it might not be there when you fully open up Tower of Barbs, like full thing. You may not see that there's another playlist there. I think it just goes wherever you interact with. But yeah, if you put it all into the gameplay tab, then I'll see it forever. The thing that it says I didn't do no such thing. Oh, did you put it in the thing? Okay, maybe I misremember then. I did do no such thing. What do you mean? What do you mean? But I'll tell you about it next time. The title and the cover art are how I just, I was about to say probably more than that. Yeah, looks okay, cool. What do you mean Lone Syndicate did? Yeah, regardless of what happened, I used a double negative. Okay, so wait, yeah, if going forward, if you guys could put, because my only worry is that like the Deathverse tab will start kicking again, and I'll have to scroll up like 20 times just to get to new content. But this way, you guys can just spam as many clips as you want in there. Any clip, you just throw them in there. Hopefully, they're not repeating, because I'll find the gold within them because I review all of them before we do voiceover usually. So yeah, yes and no. I kind of also like to have a couple clips where I don't know what's happening, so I can be like, oh, that's fun. What is this about, you know? Boldy says, yeah, but I would be doing the editing thing just for me. Then I wanted to try that out with some music and effect. Yeah, hell yeah, Boldy. If you wanted to like create content on a YouTube channel where you had like added music, you added clips, you edited them in a different way, and you still wanted me to use some clips, then when I shout out your channel or when I put a link to the whatever you give me. Right now you guys have only given me Lone Syndicate give me his channel, which I've just posted in the comments because I feel like if there's anything I can do to validate people taking the time to give me their clips and effort, the least I can do is make sure people know who is the incredible person playing. So I can do that. But if you that'd be a great idea if you created some videos, if you wanted to try to do that, and if you ever wanted to stream Deathverse, you could start to cultivate a community by people knowing this is the kind of person that plays. Even if you told me that you're planning on streaming, I would shout you out in those videos as well. So it could be good if you are planning on editing some music and putting some clips up there. Lone Syndicate says, I really want you to see my because Virgil himself high key. Oh really? Yeah, I can't wait, man. Yeah, it's gonna. Don't get too impatient though, because again, like I said, I research more content on Brothers Grin. Yeah, I wanted to talk to you guys one more thing, but it's kind of like I don't know if we should put. I don't know. I'll probably decide until at 2.0, but I wanted to see what, like, if we did per se, who knows, make some content on VR. I don't know if I want to pivot the Brothers Grin channel or if I just want to make a new channel and see what happens. Worst case scenario, I can just pivot all of my content over. There's no real point though, because I still don't have monetization on my Brothers Grin channel, so there's no point. Like if I had monetization, then there'd be a point to kind of fight through the algorithm misplacing you, but I don't know. We'll see. It's more of like an inside baseball planning, I guess, which will be a thing, but we'll see. Ladies and gentlemen, yeah, well, I shall wait. Oh, I see. Oh, give me a patient guy. Boldy says, I would say use your main channel, or would that be bad then? It's not great, Boldy, because we're kind of scattered. The reason why we're not using our main channel for videos is because it gets cluttered. The same person that will watch a stream of a type of game will not also, streams are harder to get monetized, essentially, because it's just like, it's not very viral, essentially. Like, people aren't going to search for specific thing that happens in a stream, they'll just find a guide or a video that does it. So monetization for streams is lower, so that's why I kind of we're using GRINN as a streaming channel. And also, the same people who want to watch Tower Fantasy or VR content necessarily aren't the same people who like Genshin, you know what I mean? So if you have a channel that has both of those types of content, VR channel and like Tower Fantasy, the algorithm will get confused about who your audience is, and it'll basically it'll slow down your progress really badly. So if you have a VR channel and you immediately say we make this live die repeat video, it's the first video on that channel, and multiple times throughout the video I say like subscribe if you want more of this type of content, and I take that video link and I put it into oddly satisfying Reddit or oddly or VR Reddit that would be the point of these kind of videos, or like I've put it in a place where people who want VR content would go to it. YouTube sees that this viewer who watches VR content is now watching this channel. They have more understanding of, okay, this is a VR channel because this is the viewer that is that type of viewer who watches this type of content, who's engaging with this type of content. Odds are people who are similar to him, i.e. VR watching viewers, might like what he likes as well, will push that to that type of audience. And then a lot of times it's just guessing what that audience is. So that's why it helps to be on a new channel with a fresh slate, because then YouTube can understand who's coming in. That's also why I'm debating on whether I'll tell people I have this new channel. I might tell you guys, or people who want to watch VR content, because it's really dangerous to get people who are not a fan of that type of content signaling YouTube that like, oh, a person that liked Genshin, who like would not watch this. And then you just have a channel that's full of subscribers that poorly actually, like, they may check out what this video is about and then click off, which is the worst, because that just signals to YouTube that this is not a good video. Basically, it has low retention in a base. Don't push it anywhere. It's not for anybody. Whereas if one or two people watch the entirety of that video, then holy shit, people are like, this is actually something worth a damn. And then it'll start trying to find the person. Like say if 3 people watch the entirety of the video, YouTube is like, oh, this is something that people can watch. So then it will take that person who watched the most of that video and put it in. And with a gameplay like this, which I think would be kind of like people would watch the entirety of this gameplay, because it's so fast paced, etc. Especially if I didn't slow down and I just kept gunning it. I think it would be hard for people to look away, and my retention would be good. So I think it would do well quickly, which is why we're also pursuing it, or at least considering pursuing it. But yeah. Lone Ticket says, did you just use a needle that's been in the toilet? Absolutely, boy. It's the future. Just fucking, it's like aperture science healing stuff. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, love you to bits. I gotta go. Panic. No, I gotta go have a shower, edit. Hopefully that doesn't take too long. And yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy the rest of your night. We will be streaming Tower Fantasy tomorrow, because we have a lot of Rift to do, and we have a lot of Fortress Clash. We have a lot of stuff to do. So hopefully you guys can turn out, because it would be cool to play together. Also, Monday might be another VR, or not Monday, Tuesday, it might be another VR stream, although there might be an event. So maybe not. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Love you to bits. Hopefully I can see you again. And goodbye, my friends.